Hey there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back to Enter the Spoilercast, WandaVision edition. We are here on the very last episode of WandaVision, whether that's the series finale, or it's called the series finale, or just season one's finale. We are here to finally wrap this bad boy up. As always, I am your pal and cheerleader, Sarah, and with me, of course, are the two smartest guys I know. It's Karl.
Yes, I may or may not be an ambiguous ending.
And Keith.
I may or may not be a mirror image of myself with no emotions.
I may or may not be rubbing some stuff in later in this episode, so we're all having a good time. But as always, we are going to start off our final WandaVision Enter the Spoilercast with my favorite part, your favorite part, and the universe's favorite part of the show, Karl's recap. Karl, tell us what happened this week on WandaVision.
Stuff happened. Lots and lots of stuff. Oh wait, that's not the recap you were working for? This week on WandaVision, we basically got Fighter-Rama. Agatha versus Wanda, Vision versus Vision. Those are your main two fights for pretty much the entire episode, and boy, are they a lot of nice spectacle that we expect from the Marvel Universe. During all the fighting that's going on, we find out that Pietro was not Pietro, nor was he a mutant. We find that he is an actor called Ralph Burner. Obviously, joke because, I don't know, Peter Evans or something. The Vision versus Vision fight ends due to Vision using a logical fallacy or something along the lines of basically, if you replace bits and pieces of something, how long till it becomes a brand new thing versus if you take the old pieces that you've removed from the old thing to make a new thing, is it really the same thing? And then goes, here, I'm going to put my password into your memory banks, and now you have all your memories. And White Vision's like, okay, I am now Vision, bye-bye. Back with the Agatha Wanda fights. Agatha basically just sort of messes around with Wanda, uses the folks of Westview as sort of a bit of a leverage, basically removing the mind control hex that Wanda put on them and forcing them all to sort of confront her in a really straightforward manner, which Wanda reacts by going, okay, I'm going to partially remove the hex so everybody can leave. But as she does, she finds out that the kids of her creation are part of the hex, so destroying the hex means destroying the kids as well as Vision, as we previously knew. That also opens up the gate for Hayward to begin bringing in the military and doing what he wanted to do, which was basically drive in and aim guns at Wanda. Wanda's like, I got the witch, Vision, go finish kicking the crap out of yourself. That puts the timeline of my events out of proportion. But, and goes, hey kids, play with the military. So the kids manage to freeze all the soldiers, and I believe disable all their guns, before Hayward's like, I'm going to shoot the kids. Monica comes in and goes, no, you're not shooting the kids. I'm going to phase and reduce the velocity of the bullets. Okay. So she does that. Hayward's like, screw you, I'm going to run over the kids then. And then, out of nowhere, here comes Darcy to save the day! Woo! Darcy finally got past the roadblocks at the most opportune moment. So she ends up pinning Hayward against a wall with the ice cream van / truck that she's driving, basically making him ineffective. So all the build-up for him doing something was absolutely for naught. Back with the main fight, Agatha and Wanda back and forth. Oh, you're the Scarlet Witch, blah, blah, blah. Wanda accepts her powers, her grief, and herself, and basically just slaps Agatha around a little bit. A part of that is getting a reworked version of the Scarlet Witch costume. Yas, Queen, work that shit. And that pretty much ended the fight. So it's like, okay, so what's Agatha's punishment going to be? Guess what? You're now Agnes forever and a day until I decide different. Ha! The hex is then slowly removed as Wanda realizes that, she can still have the memories and the feelings that she had for Vision and the family that she has created while, living her life and overcoming her grief. So the hex slowly shrinks down to where the house was. We get some nice emotional onions being chopped on screen with the goodbye to the kids and then the very emotional goodbye to Vision as the hex slowly disappears. And he's just left with the basic layout of the house. Jimmy Woo leads the FBI in to clean up all the mess. And that's pretty much it for the main plot of the show. But of course, it wouldn't be Marvel shows without some post credits, mid credits, old credits, over there credits, this way and that way credits. We get a small scene of Monica being led into a theater where one of the FBI agents reveals themselves to be a Skrull and basically invites Monica to join a group of people up there pointing towards the sky. For anybody who remembers the Far From Home movie featuring Spider-Man, Nick Fury is in space. So maybe Monica's going to join Nick Fury in space. And then we go to more credits as once they actually finish rolling, we find what looks to be some sort of like remote Canadian wilderness or something. Wanda is basically sitting outside a house, goes to pour herself a cup of tea, just enjoying the nice peaceful life, but the camera keeps moving and goes around the corner where we find Wanda, either Wanda's astral self or her actual self, reading the Darkhold, which Agatha brought in earlier in the episode, learning all the secrets about the multiverse. All of a sudden, Wanda looks up in surprise as she hears the kids screaming for help. And that's the end of WandaVision. WandaVision.
So I got to say real quick, once again, thank you for doing that, Sir Karl. When I saw the part where White Vision was talking to Green Vision and then he unlocked his memories and he left, the only thing I think of was like, my people need me. I must go. And it's like, he's out. Like, what?
I love it. Also, I would like to
She's going to do it. She's going to do it. I was waiting for
last episode, I said it was Skrulls, and you were both like, no, Secret Invasion is so far away. Why would it be Skrulls? It's not Skrulls. Guess what? You guys?
Say it. Go ahead, say it.
It was Skrulls.
I still definitely think it's for Secret Invasion. But
I told you, though. You're like, no, it's too early.
It is kind of too early. I mean,
it's never too early for Skrulls.
I mean, it is Marvel doing weird stuff. There's a lot of stuff in this episode that was great. There was some things that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but yeah.
Well,
like Monica completely sidelined.
If you had a fan theory of like mutants, Mephisto, this connected to that and everything else,
no.
Boy, did they give you the biggest middle finger with this episode.
Mutants? No, it was Ralph all along. Because it was Ralph.
Was Ralph all along, which is kind of disappointing, but I guess like was a really good red herring to sort of like slap people in the face to be like, you thought. So.
Hey, that Marvel likes to really play with the red herrings. Even got the cast in on it. The whole engineer thing literally turned out to be nothing.
Yeah,
absolutely nothing. Everybody who said, "Oh, it's Mephisto," no, there's no Mephisto. Guess what? That was a big red herring that everybody thought that they had put together. No, not going to happen.
Paul
Mutants
Bettany
in the MCU, not yet.
Paul Bettany going on TV saying, "Hey, people are upset about this cameo," and ended up being you working alongside yourself, and he was laughing his ass off during that interview.
Oh, that's hysterical.
He's like, people thought I was talking about something else, but no, it was just.
He pulled a McConaughey. Remember that to the Oscars where McConaughey was like, "Who's your hero? It's me in 5 years." You're like, "Wow, you are a dick." Okay, then.
I did not see that. I usually don't watch that. I usually don't watch that. But yeah, like I mentioned, there was a lot of weird things going on in this episode, but it was great. The grand scheme of things, it was actually really good. It answered a lot of questions, especially things you didn't think about, like Ralph. They answered who Ralph was. Yeah. They basically, like Karl said, gave you a middle finger. There are no mutants. Sorry. And because Wanda's not a mutant, and because Quicksilver wasn't really there.
And it's Mephisto. So that's
so many things there.
Let's break it down. Let's break down the good and the bad and the ugly. So, Keith, you've been espousing a bunch of stuff, but Karl, tell me, what was your favorite part of the episode?
Oh god, so many good parts, so little time. I like the battles. We finally got some of that Marvel action that we were expecting. The conversation between the two visions, where he uses the theory of, I can't remember the name of the ship,
Theseus.
But it was like Theseus's ship.
I actually went and looked at
where
it.
It's the replacement of the parts and how that can create a new being but still keep parts of the old. But if they use the old parts to create something new, is that really something new, or is it the same ship? And Like, it was actually quite interesting because I figured the two visions wouldn't settle things by fighting. They would have to. They'd have to do logic. Logic would be the ultimate answer for that fight, as opposed to the Agatha Wanda fight, which was all about power and magic, manipulation, and all that type of stuff. I did enjoy the kids getting to mess with the military because it's like, hey, America's military gets screwed over by two kids that don't even really exist. How bad do you feel? But ultimately, Darcy.
I wish there was more Darcy.
She saves the world again. She saves the world from the background. Nobody really gives her credit for it.
Deserves better. We need to build a monument to Darcy.
Oh, totally. I'm sure Kat Dennings would be very happy with such a tribute.
Right. That was my one complaint well, no. I have many complaints. We're going to talk about that, but I was like, more Darcy! Why was there only that one scene with Darcy? Darcy deserved more scenes. So, I will say that much. But yeah, so...
But yeah, I will have to say, like, I know it's very weird of me trying, as I did in the recap, was basically my actual reaction to Wanda's costume upgrade. Like, I was just like, "Yas, Queen, work that shit."
I like the subtle changes they made to it.
I want that as a GIF or like a repeatable soundbite so that I can have it at all times to hype myself up. Just be like, "Boop, yas, Queen."
Do you want it with her revealing her new costume? Because I could totally make that for you.
I mean, listen, I'm
done.
But no, I really thought I liked the redesign. I think it makes. I just got that, like pants, just pants. Like this whole like unitard shit in comics makes sense on aesthetic purposes, but like in film, it's just like let them wear pants, guys. Come on, fighting's hard enough as it is, and it's so cold on those sets.
What are you talking about? Isn't she still wearing high heels too? I mean, how do you fight in heels? Then I've seen some women running in heels, so I can't say anything.
Yeah, I'm like, it depends on how high the heel is, but like, yeah, I've run and or kicked in heels, and it's been all right. Like, I'm kind of curious now. I do not remember heels. Does anybody else remember heels?
I don't remember heels. I don't, but I have to question: does the pants have pockets?
Oh, they never do.
That's the main thing. Unless you've actually been drawn by Rob Liefeld, in which case you have too many pockets. Most superhero costumes do not have pockets.
But
well,
then,
that's the thing. Most superhero costumes don't have pockets. Most superhero costumes do not have pockets, unless you're drawn by Rob Liefeld, in which case you end up like Deadpool or Cable and having too many pockets.
But isn't Rob Liefeld also the guy who draws limbs?
Yes.
So, I mean, listen, I would rather have no pockets and normal limbs and not fucked up limbs and lots of pockets. I don't know. Listen, but also women's wear just never has pockets. It never has pockets because we apparently don't deserve pockets. Wanda will just have to wear a purse, just like the rest of us. To be fair, though, I mean, she has magic, so she should probably just Mary Poppins that shit into, like, some sort of vortex eternal
bag
holding.
Of holding.
So, get a bag of holding. She'll be all right. But I don't know, I liked it. Again, I dig pants. I dig the overall look. I don't know, I thought it was cool because it's a nice homage to the old one, but it, like, is more practical and actually looks like armor of some kind. Like, it looks more padded and, like, secure than, like, gaze upon my strapped leotard with the leg holes cut out so now you can see my gams. Like, man, your gams are gonna get stabbed. It's real bad. I dug it. I also really liked, I didn't think I was gonna like it in motion, but the white vision is really cool. And I mean, obviously all they did was just color change the animations on Vision. But I thought that was also like a really cool design, and when his eyes change, I thought that was really interesting. Like, I think overall,
well, once the memories got unlocked, he actually got more humanoid eyes than he had before.
Yeah, that was. I will say, whose design I don't really like. I don't like Agatha's witch design. I don't.
Really?
It's
closer to the actual character.
Oh no, for sure. I mean, well, that is. I mean, the actual character was like an 80-year-old looking woman. And like that for me, it was that weird like white turtleneck thing in the middle that just didn't quite look like it matched. Like, I was really confused about that. I was like, what purpose does this serve? Like, aesthetically, it's kind of ugly. So like, is there a point to it? I don't know. Also, I don't know if y'all noticed this, and I don't know why it bothered me, but it's like a thing. Like, things that bother me in movies, like eyebrows bother me, but hair. So every time the Agatha or Wanda go into witch mode, their hair becomes wavy, like all the way wavy. But when they're not, it becomes straight. Weird. Like, I don't know why they made that choice. Okay, when you're in witch mode, your hair becomes full waves, and you're like, but why?
It's more the display of power. Like, power is radiating from their body in that particular mode or form. So that's sort of showing that they're radiating power.
I mean, I don't know. Like, it's a choice. It was a choice. Like, the power goes through your hair, so you get waves. You get beach waves.
Have you've seen Dragon Ball?
Oh God, yes I have. Damn it.
Oh, there you go.
See,
Super Saiyans.
There you go. Super Saiyans. That's all they are. Wanda is a Super Saiyan.
To be fair, Super Saiyans also get their hair dyed. Blonde. Good for
I mean,
them,
all right,
though.
look at Sonic. Sonic goes Super Saiyan as well.
Grow 4,000 foot at the same time and also change forms and everything else. But yeah, let's not get into that.
Yeah, no,
Super Sonic.
No. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting. I was like, that is an interesting design choice that they went with. So that's interesting. It also looks like the theory on Dottie Jones being Arcana has been debunked because, like, yeah, girl did not.
She was just random. She was just random girl who got brought into this, whose daughter is trapped in a bedroom.
Yeah, that's really fucked up.
Yep, a lot of red herrings. Yeah, like, hey, why was you here?
Sort of that whole thing got me though. Like when she's going, "Oh, I've got a daughter. She's trapped in the bedroom. I haven't seen her in ages." So that sort of somewhat explains what happened to the children. Are they all like trapped in houses in bedrooms or something for their own protection or some? Who knows? Like,
it's creepy. And I will say, so like, do we have a good handle on how many days this has been? Because like, how long was Westview like this? Is it a week? 2 weeks? Can't be more than a month.
It's hard to tell unless there was some indicator early on in the episodes. Like when they were explaining the hex and how it first appeared, I think there might have been like a time frame of when it appeared to the start of the story. But as for the time frame of the actual story itself, we could probably say that each individual episode was a day.
Yeah.
True, but remember there's overlap because the episode where we first get introduced to everybody, like Darcy and Jimmy Woo, like on the outside, they watch multiple episodes of the show. Of WandaVision on WandaVision. So at least the first 3 episodes conflate over that 4th one. That's 1 day. No, it's 3 days. So 3 days in episode 4, but they overlap with 1, 2, and 3. And then 4, 5, 6 are each days. Because that's 6 is the Halloween one. Then 7 was the Halloween one? One of them was, I think 7 was the Halloween one. 8 was the one, and then 8 and 9 happened basically on the same day. Because that's when she finds out about Agatha. No, wait. Sorry, 6 was the Halloween one. 7 was the Modern Family one. Then we have the whole, like, this is Agatha's story / Wanda going through her memories. That was episode 8, and then episode 9 was this one. So, all of that happened in 1 day. So, at least a week. Probably closer to 2.
No more than a month, though, yeah. There definitely was no more longer than a month.
Yeah. Man, that's confusing. I wish I had Karl's whiteboard. Why did you throw it out the window, Karl?
No, he didn't throw it out the window.
I threw out the whiteboard because it needed to be thrown out, and after this, I just obliterated it with a nuclear bomb because they just threw all my theories out the window.
Yep.
They do that.
Maybe you should have been on Team Skrull. You would have had one right.
Oh no!
Excuse me. I had one right. Thank you very much. I called Agatha from the very beginning.
What about you, Sarah?
What about me? What
was your favorite?
Oh yeah, I didn't say that. So I actually generally overall feel a little less positive than you guys about this episode. Not because I think it was bad. Like, this is still really good TV and it's still really good Marvel. Which is better than a lot of things. Cough, cough. I will say, like, definitely the conversation between Vision and Wanda at the end as they are dying, or as he's dying, really, where it says, we said goodbye before, so it stands to reason we'll say hello again. Like, that was beautiful. I was like, all their interactions like that are just super well written. They're really beautiful. I really, like, on the internet we say OTP, one true pairing, but I was like, damn, these guys are my Marvel OTP, like, for the MCU. They're so sweet and gentle and, like, love each other so freaking much. And yeah, I mean, I guess we could see Vision come back again now that White Vision, like, fucked off somewhere.
Oh, he's totally coming back. He's totally coming back.
I was just like, where are you going?
That was their out. Hey, we got this guy going on. So yeah.
Like, oh look, he's back. Basically, because he has his memories, right? So like, for all intents and he didn't live through them, but like having the memories is basically the same thing. So it doesn't super matter. I mean, technically his body did live through him. I guess just this version of him didn't. Theseus' ship. Fucking confusing.
There you go.
But yeah, so I get, there's a potential for them to come back, and I kind of liked the ending where the astral plane version of Wanda is reading the Darkhold and here's the kids, because I guess that sort of means, or like, they're hinting that maybe Speed and Wiccan are gonna be coming back somehow. I really liked the kid who played Billy. I don't know. I was like, I feel an affinity for you, child. Like, you have various soulful eyes.
It definitely would be the teaser for Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was basically my favorite. That whole last part was my favorite moment.
Yeah, I got to say, towards the end was my favorite moments. The fight scenes were okay, but it was the very ending that really got to me. When Vision and Wanda are saying goodbye to their children, and then Wanda is talking to Vision, basically saying her goodbyes, and she comes to terms with everything that's happened, and she doesn't snap or go crazy. She's like, all right, this is what happened. I accept it. I did a lot of bad things. I need to move on. She's walking through the town and people are looking at her, and she has this conversation. Monica's like, I would have did the same thing, because it just shows you, hey, if I have the power to try and rectify something or to help me grieve, I'll do it. And I'm pretty sure most people are the same way. So she takes off and she goes off to the cabin and she does her thing. A lot of people were saying that Wanda was speed reading. It's like, no, if you pay attention to it, she's walking into the one part of the cabin, and then in the back of it is a projection. Back where Doctor Strange was doing his thing in the movie, he was doing astral projection while doing other stuff. This is what she's doing. And when you hear the two children cry out, that is definitely, unless it's a red herring, a call out to, hey, multiverses. She's checking the multiverses for her kids. She's looking for them. Because now that she knows that she's a Nexus being, she has the ability to look at other universes. And she's looking for them. And they are setting up a Young Avengers. I doubt we'll see those two in there, because they are part of Young Avengers.
True, but you never know. Like, you really do never know.
I think they wanted to take stuff out of the comics, but they didn't want to take everything directly out of the comics. And it's funny, because that was the thing I was talking about. So I guess I'll start the things that I didn't really like, or things that weren't very clear to me.
Go for it.
When Agatha's talking to Wanda, it's like, you're the most powerful thing out there. You're more powerful than Sorcerer Supreme. I'm like, okay, I get that. But at the same time, for those who've ever read the comics, every time that Wanda was going apeshit, hey, Doctor Strange, we need your help. She's going crazy. Or when she makes a big mistake, hey, Doctor Strange, could you help me? I kind of dropped the ball here. And he comes in and then cleans up her mess. So it's like, are you trying to say that he's not going to play an important part, or is she the end-all be-all? Because Marvel Cinematic Heroes has this problem where they take certain characters and they make them weaker than their actual comic book selves, and then they take other characters and they make them omnipotent. And it's like, hey, why are we even here if you can do everything yourself? I get that she's powerful, but don't dropping things in. She's the most powerful things. It kind of negates the purpose of even Strange being around. Wanda, you go take care of this. We don't need Strange. Strange, go fix your hands. Go back and be a doctor. See you later. Which also was a run in the comic books.
But I mean, she is also prophesized to destroy everything. So like, they're probably not going to call on her that much because the destroy thing.
Well, she's working on that. She doesn't believe that. She's going to be a good guy. No, I don't accept my fate.
She did destroy a world though. She destroyed the world that was created by the Hex.
True that she made. So I guess technically, but like.
I mean, she did, but she really, really didn't want to do that. But she was trying her damnedest. You could see she's like, I'm going to try and have my cake and eat it too. And it's like, nope, it's just not working. I can't do this. I totally can't do this.
I cannot continue the torture of these poor people who just want to see their families. I feel really bad for all of them. I'm like, oh, everyone needs a hug. I feel really sad.
But see, that's the thing that drives me crazy. So again, we go back to this whole Nexus being, you can pretty much do whatever you want. So why couldn't you make these people, the Vision and your children, actually be reality? You have the power to do that.
It's true.
Now, I was like, so what? I'm lost. First you said you can do anything, and then you go back and say, no, you can't do this. And by the way, I have to go back and apologize. So it was the Darkhold, which basically meant this is Marvel's way of saying, hey, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you don't exist. Runaways, you don't exist in this Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because we're using different props again.
I mean,
sorry.
To be fair, they before the Disney streaming shows, they basically treated the TV universes as totally separate.
Well, they were the same, and they tried to tie them in.
In some cases, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., at least the first 3 series,
is
very closely tied into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I believe the Jessica Jones or Luke Cage series was also somewhat tied into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, but
there was a lot of stuff that was pushed to the side and stuff like that. Yes, but
right. I feel like
they did try to bring this stuff in.
I feel like the movie stuff made it into the TV shows, but the TV show stuff never made it into the movies, is what I really mean.
Yeah, they never crossed over. The TV shows weren't supposed to ever cross into the movies, ever. But the movies were supposed to be a big part of at least Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and they totally dropped afterwards. They were like, we're done. We're not going to try and keep matching the continuity up. And then they really went apeshit, balls to the wall.
I think also the other point is... The other point also with the connection between the two universes, I think we've got Disney doing another Star Wars, where it's like, okay, everything that came before that we didn't produce or that we don't essentially own, which is all the Netflix stuff, screw that, throw it in the bin. It's like the extended continuity that Star Wars had, all the post episode 6 content in the books and comics and everything else. Disney turned around and said, we own the series. If we didn't make it or we don't own it, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, that was terrible.
And I have a feeling that's what they're probably doing in terms of the Netflix stuff, is all that now is non-canon because Disney doesn't own it.
I mean, that's neither here nor there now. But I just wanted to point that out. So I was so adamant it wasn't. Then they were like, no, it is the Darkhold. I'm like, all right, I'm done.
No, it's true. I will say in terms of... Actually, you know what? Maybe Karl should go first because I have a long list of things I didn't like. Karl, anything that you didn't like or was your least favorite?
I'm not done.
Oh, you're not done.
They didn't do Jack with Monica. All right, now I'm done.
Okay. Karl.
Shoot her with bullets. Oh, wait, stop because her energy and she does energy thing. Yeah, we get that. Thanks.
I wasn't a big fan of what happened with Monica. All the build up for making her into the photon spectrum Captain Marvel, whatever they're going to do with her after this point. She is too good of an actress, and it's too good of a character to have just let the character just sort of stand on the sidelines and be, I'm going to be a bullet sponge for the boys. Because
she literally did stand on the sidelines.
Yeah, that was it. It was like after Pietro or Ralph, whatever you want to call him now, took her away from that the post-credits scene. She's just been stuck in a room with him. And then when she finally gets out, which she overpowered him so goddamn easy, it makes you wonder why she was stuck in there for any amount of time. She literally just stood on the sidelines watching.
I find it comical is when go ahead.
And then when the kids are in danger, that's when she does her big, I'm going to be a hero, and just stood there and changed the kinetic energy of the bullets to nothing, and they just drop, and it's like, yeah, okay, so your big build-up was for what now?
And don't forget the part where after the kids were okay and Vision's like, kids, or boys, and she walks up behind them like, he's not calling you. Why are you walking up? And then she literally stayed there the entire episode.
There.
Yeah, the entire episode. She stands there
for the rest of the episode. Like, absolutely does nothing.
I wonder if they cut something out. Like, I wonder if there was something more for her to do, and they're just like, nope, just nick it.
Just stay right there. We got plans for you later. Like, oh, come on.
Which way?
I actually watched Coming to America, the second one after this episode, and there's a scene in that mimicked the first movie where the prince tells the prospective wife to stand here and wait for me, and she just stands there and waits for pretty much the rest of the particular scene. That's what it felt like with Monica. It was like, just "Stand here, I'll be right back." And then everybody else walks away, and she's just standing there going, "Hello? Does anybody remember me?"
Oh.
But the other thing that sort of got me was how quickly Wanda adapts to things. Like, I don't want to use this term because it's not fitting, but I don't have any other way to explain it. It's a very Mary Sue style character trait.
I was going to bring that up.
In the span of like a battle and a half against Agatha, not only has Wanda been able to basically get used to her powers, she's now mastered runes, she's the mastered illusions, go into the mind control, basically able to access and manipulate Agatha's own memories against her. Like, she was doing a lot of stuff that, like, she's gone from 0 to 100 real quick. And at points, I sort of found that annoying, especially when the runes thing popped up. I was like, okay, cool, using her own knowledge against her, not a problem. But to do something on that grander scale in that quicker time, I'm like, the plausibility is a little bit thrown out the window here, and to find that everything else really is just an illusion, like the blackening of the hands and the draining of the life force was all just an illusion put on by Wanda. It's like, yeah, you're powerful, but even Agatha said your problem isn't power, it's knowledge, and all of a sudden you've just gained all this knowledge out of nowhere. It just doesn't make sense. It's like we missed some sort of character progression or something somewhere.
Yeah, the thing that really bothered me about that fight is what you said, the runes. I was like, wait, how did she learn this all of a sudden? What?
Yeah, because those weren't even like the same runes that were on.
Nope, completely different.
Yeah, so I mean, I agree. Like it was a little out of nowhere.
Like I saw Wanda missing with the hex bolts quite a few times during the fight, and I'm like, she's doing that intentionally. Nobody misses that wide of a margin every second shot.
Unless you're a stormtrooper.
So there's something else. No. If you're a stormtrooper, you're missing every single shot, not every second. But I knew something else was going on. Like, she was weakening the hex or something. She had some sort of plan. But when I saw the runes, I went, yeah, that's a bit far-fetched. You've only just heard about runes. You don't know what they are, what they do, what specific ones do, what specific ones you need in order to make that spell work.
I will say, so like playing devil's advocate here. What if that's knowledge that she picked up when she went inside of Agatha's brain? When she did the mind
again, it's powers above the skill level that she had. If she didn't even know how she did the hex, how is she suddenly able to gain all this knowledge and take knowledge from somebody else's minds with spells that she's never done before?
But didn't she do that in Age of Ultron, when she basically got in everybody's mind? It was like, hey, you're going to see things I want you to see.
She created she created the illusion in the mind. She didn't go into memory.
Well, I mean,
that's different parts of the brain.
True, but like, it's not like she can know those memories, because she didn't like know Tony Stark, and she didn't know about Agatha's witch thing. Like, so she does actually have to go into their memories to create the effective illusion, right? Because otherwise, then because Tony's thing was like seeing everyone dead from the space thing. It's not like that. It's not like she had gone into space herself and seen Thanos' space rock and all that.
Just like Roger, she made him see, and Peggy. So she knew she had to tap some sort of part of their memory, or their greatest fears or their wants.
Some part of their brain. She had to touch a part of their brain to know what to create. So,
but everything else,
it's shaky logic at best.
It's very shaky logic at best. It's probably one of the weirdest things. Like, now that they have now really cemented the fact magic is a thing in Marvel Universe, they're just going, hey, things happen because magic.
Hand wavium.
I'm like, no. Yeah, hand wavium is now an official thing. And I hate that type of storytelling where it's like, oh, it's magic, so you don't need to explain it. Yes, you fucking do.
Well, I like that
There's
term,
this thing called character development and character progression that needs to happen in the story.
Well, I really like the fact
Sounds
that
fake.
you're now calling it hand wavium, or what you've been calling the last couple episodes of the show, because in that episode it showed an important part of Wanda's character, and she's like, "Hey, I don't cast spells, yada yada yada." But yet when White Vision
quite literally does hand wavium,
right,
And
but then White Vision comes up and grabs her by the head and goes, "All right, I'm squeezing your skull," and she's like, I'm kind of stuck now." He literally could have killed her right then and there by popping her head.
Yeah.
So she does need to use her hands.
But then her husband phases into existence and goes,
Right.
"I'm here to save the day."
But that's what I'm saying. It does show a weakness of the character that you do need to use your hands. It's not like Wiccan. Wiccan just has to say what he needs to say. Backwards.
He still uses his hands though.
No, he doesn't.
He does. If you take a look at the scenes, he actually still uses his hands.
No, I'm talking about the comic. Comic, he doesn't. He just needs to say it.
Even in the comic, he still uses his hands.
Does he?
Yes.
I need to go check that.
I just read the latest one that they put out with the Hulkling and
I like
Wiccan
that one
for Back in Black.
I like that one. That was sweet.
That was actually a really the Back in Black issue is really good. I recommend it for anybody who hasn't read it yet.
All Back in Black is great.
Adding it
Come
to my
on,
list.
Debatable.
Okay, most of it is good.
But anyway, let's keep to the show, not so much.
Yeah, guys, come on. We can bitch about Wiccan when he gets his own property and or.
I'm not bitching about Wiccan at all. I love the character. I love what they do with him in both comics and the TV show. I think they've done a really good job with that character.
I like him so much. I mean, it's not to shit on Tommy, but I'm like, Billy, my sweet baby, it's okay. I'm cry.
Don't worry, we'll catch up on Wiccan later.
I mean, I know stuff about Wiccan and like he's like the first openly gay in the Marvel superhero. Him and Hulkling.
He's not the first.
Not really.
He's the more popular.
The most
he's the more marketable.
Oh wait,
version,
wasn't one of the versions of Iceman also gay?
No, there was one of the original.
Was a bad retcon.
One of the originals was one of the ones. Was it Alpha Flight? Yeah.
Like there've been gay Marvel comic book characters dating back to like the 1960s. It's just that modern day sensibilities don't take the past into account with those type of things. It's only what have you done for me lately.
I mean, it's also like.
But again,
we'll have that conversation another day.
But things I didn't enjoy. I felt this episode, even though we did get the longer runtime, I did feel a very rushed, production of it. I have a feeling that they had everything planned out for a longer season, and quite possibly due to there was a lot of production issues with a lot of shows near the end of each production because of that damn virus. I have a feeling that this affected a lot of stuff that could have happened a lot further. Like this could have been 12, 20 episodes or something like that, but they sort of went, okay, we've got a lot of this in the can, we've got enough here to build an ending, we're going to try and wrap this up in 9 rather than 10, 12 episodes.
Fair enough.
I just felt like this ending was so rushed to try and tie up so many plot threads.
Oh yeah, definitely was.
That it just created a very rushed and very messy narrative overall.
Yeah, I definitely felt the pacing just as a whole season, looking back on it, is just totally off. They really needed to pull this out over at least another episode, if not.
It was the pacing was all right up until you hit the Halloween episode.
Yeah, and after that it was just
then
pedal to the metal.
Everything was condensed.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I think. And I feel kind of bad because I was really hyped for this finale, and it just emotionally it felt good. Emotionally, the actors did a great job. They got the beats that they needed to get, but there just wasn't enough fleshing out in the middle for me. It just didn't feel like enough. I wish there had been more meat on the narrative bones here, and it just wasn't there. And that sort of tints the rest. And it sucks because. It tints the rest of the show for me just a little bit.
Are you saying that the show didn't have enough vision?
Oh God. Okay, so now we're gonna kill Keith.
That was so terrible.
Keith gets banished.
That's bad. That's bad. Yeah,
Gets banished to the
he's
mirror
going to be
realm.
banished. But I will say, and this is sort of going back on the narrative and the speed of everything. As much as I hated the character and everything else, the stuff with Hayward, it felt like that got dropped.
Oh, it did.
And the way that they finalized this was just absolutely terrible. Like, sure, I cheered when Darcy drove that ice cream truck into the side door and got her one line in. I cheered like hell, but I'm like, you do all this development and say that they're going to do this big military operation. What do? They send in 4 cars, and they get done in less than 2 minutes by 2 kids. And then you have the tech researcher be the one who ultimately pins the bad guy down for the arrest. All in the span of not even 5 minutes.
Yeah, that
was just it was a bad payoff. It really was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like how they did that. That was way too quick. But then again, like we all theorize that this show was not going to get a second season, and they need to wrap up as much stuff as they could. He was a baddie; he needed to go. We got the White Vision. Okay, that was the end for Vision to come back later on in the future. Wanda's looking for her kids in the multiverse, so they'll eventually make their way back to MCU. Wanda is now Scarlet Witch, so we got that taken care of. Hey, we did everything we need to do. Oh yeah, and by the way, Monica now has her powers, so everybody be happy. We're bringing her into the MCU. We're done.
Yep.
Well, I was reading a bit of history about the show this morning, actually, and I read that the main reason that this went ahead at the time that it did, because this was the only one that they could wrap up production on. Falcon and Winter Soldier was meant to be, I think it was first or second in the line. That was actually supposed to come earlier. Yeah, you had Black Widow, then Falcon and Winter Soldier. Then there was supposed to be then there was supposed to be something else. Then WandaVision. Then going into Multiverse of Madness.
No.
And the Spider-Man film was supposed to be after.
It was the original. I think the original was Black Widow, Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and then after WandaVision was Loki, and then it was going to be Multiverse or Spider-Man Multiverse.
Okay, so
I don't know anymore.
Yeah, so like WandaVision wasn't supposed to be the opening to the Phase 4. It was supposed to be a couple of bits in, but it was only because there was production got shut down on Falcon and Winter Soldier because of that damn virus that this got pushed up because they had enough to make a series out of it. And it was intended to be a mini series. There is no season 2, no extending this at all.
Yep.
This is exactly what they intended it to be.
But it was a happy accident because it got so much popularity and people really liked it. Like, not to shit on people who like Falcon and or the Winter Soldier, but like I just don't see that as being very exciting. Like, I'm not excited for that show. Like, I'll watch it because I have to. It's like when I go see Ant-Man movies, I'm like, do I love Ant-Man? Ant-Man's fine. Ant-Man's entertaining, but like, you know, I'm just watching this because I know if I don't watch it, I'm not going to know what like half the references in the next 2 movies are going to be. Like,
yeah, and I can totally understand that. Like, if we had opened things up with Black Widow and then Falcon Winter Soldier as your your opening movie, your opening TV show, a lot of people at this point are suffering from superhero burnout. So if you opened it that way, I think it wouldn't have been a very successful show or even successful movie. Opening things with WandaVision, which was a fresh take, which was a fresh idea, a very different storytelling style to what Marvel has been doing. It's created a lot better buzz and hype for the rest of what's to come than going the more traditional routes with the superhero stuff first.
At the end, as long as it works, it doesn't make a difference to me. As long as it works, I don't care.
Yeah, it's like I wish we could get more WandaVision, but I'm sort of happy with what we got. Like, we got the Happy House of M closing, so it's not like, oh, she's going to go insane, no more mutants or destroying anything. We got the happy version of that, where she chose to move on from her guilt and her grief and everything to accepting everything and being able to move forward with her life, at least in a little portion. and she got to do things her way rather than having it all ripped from her, which is what happened in House of M.
Yeah, it's exactly what I said. But again, it feels like they're taking bits and pieces out of the past run that she had in Marvel Comics, because the last time I remember, she went to Doctor Strange. She did something, and Doctor Strange had to bail her out, and then he was like, "Don't ever do this again." And she's like, "Okay, I won't." And then the next couple pages, you see her doing the same exact thing. So it's not like she's learning. I mean, she's learned a lot, but she's still like, you know what? I'm still going to have my cake. I'm still going to find my kids. I'm still going to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the scene, the end credits scene where she's reading the Darkhold and she hears the kids either in another multiverse or something. That is very much I still haven't completely got over what, like, the emotional issues. I am going to have this no matter what, and I am going to do anything in order to do it. I have a feeling that's leading in the Multiverse of Madness. I have a feeling she's going to create the problem, but also be a part of the solution to the problem.
I can totally
we'll probably
see that.
see Agatha return as well.
That would be fun. I will say I am a little over the trope of like, oh man, crazy tiger mom goes crazy for her kids, and like, do we have to though?
It draws on that age old I don't want to say saying, but concept that parents would do anything. Good parents would do anything for their kids.
Yeah, I know. But like when guys do it, they're like all cool and like, I'm gonna shoot you in the face, and you're like, oh my god. But when the women do it, they're fucking crazy, and I'm like, well, why can't we? I mean, I guess except for Kill Bill, because goddamn, those were some fucking.
Yeah, Kill Bill is the
Well,
exception.
again, we could spend forever hours going into the psychology of the emotional difference between men and women when it becomes to parenting styles and parenting and dealing with emotion and stuff like that.
I'm a very emotional parent. Don't you dare.
Podcast altogether.
Boo! No, talk about the feelings. Why don't men have feelings? No, I mean, men do have feelings.
Men have feelings, anger, aggression, shooting things, drinking beer. They're emotions, aren't they?
I cry watching Monster Inc. Shut up.
Yeah, honestly, like
but I've also heard some things from you about your kids, man.
Yeah, if I ever met a guy who was interested in me and was like, I didn't cry at Coco, I'm gonna be like, then you are not a person I need to know now. So bye.
Coco.
Bye.
Who did not cry at Coco? Man, that movie is so good. Okay, no, I'm not gonna cry at Coco.
I didn't.
Well, this is the end of our friendship. Goodbye.
See what you guys did.
I cried during the end of WandaVision. Okay, you know,
okay, fair enough. That can
like I will say this, like, the overall, this has proven Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany, these two deserve awards for that acting, to get that emotional connection with an audience. Like, if they don't get some sort of a television award either this year or next year, I swear to God, Hollywood, you will burn.
Yeah, they're getting Emmys. They're for sure getting Emmys. There's just no way that they're not getting an Emmy out of this. Like, given how popular the show was, they're getting an Emmy.
Again, it's a superhero TV show. It's not going to get an Emmy.
You never know. You never know. Like it's slim pickings.
Well, they had the Golden Globe Awards recently, and Netflix actually dominated most categories. So there's nothing saying that things aren't changing. You know, you don't have to be on network television in order to get a Golden Globe or an Emmy nomination.
And Joker won all those awards for that. That's
Enough said. I'm sorry. I guess I'm one of the many who did not think that the movie was good.
We will. I think we're going to see an era where things like this, especially WandaVision, for how unique it is outside of the superhero trope, could actually be an award winner.
I hope so.
Joker is a good movie. I'm just saying it's definitely a superhero movie. Anyways, so I think we should sort of wrap up with our I mean, we've talked a little bit about this, but let's talk about how we felt about the whole season, the whole shebang overall. If you want to give it a grade, feel free to give it a grade. Why don't we start with we'll start with Karl, because Karl and I are on this team.
Let's start with you.
Why?
No, let's start with you, Sarah. We're gonna start with you. Why? Ladies first this time, okay?
All right. So like I said, I really think the finale kind of hurt the overall impression of the season for me. I definitely liked it when it was in sort of that like dark suburbia Lynch mode, where like you didn't know what was going on, and everything was just very slightly creepy. I kind of wish they had stuck with creepy. They went kitschy, which is not bad. It's just not really my preferred vibe for these kinds of things. If I had to give it a grade, I'd give it like an A-, which is like, solid. I definitely think the earlier parts of the season are much better. I think the finale let it down. I also think that like there was really no way, unless it was 3 hours long, the finale was going to be able to sort of to tie everything together and really make it feel as grand and cinematic as the rest of the season was sort of building it up to be. And again, as Karl was saying, it's partially COVID's fault. They had to probably wrap production early. They probably didn't get to do everything they wanted, hence like, Monica not getting much to do in the end. But ultimately it felt just like a little bit of a letdown. A+ for effort, A- overall for execution. Now Karl.
Okay, now me. I can pretty much echo a lot of what you've said there, Sarah. Like, the early episodes are absolute brilliant referential types of shows that drove an overall plot, brought deep mystery into it, had the entire internet buzzing and theorizing and putting the red strings on the board. Even now, it's currently just after 2 p.m. here in Australia. We've had WandaVision for just 15, about 17 hours now. So we're closing in on that 24-hour mark, and WandaVision is still trending on Twitter. Like, that's how long a show to trend for nearly 24 hours straight is virtually unheard of these days. And it just shows that this show extremely well written, well cast. As we've said many times, Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany, absolutely beautiful, great people, great tribute to their acting abilities. The ending felt rushed. The last, probably I'd say 3 episodes of the series felt very condensed. We wanted more because we were invested in the characters, we were invested in the setting, we were invested in the story. We were laughing, we were crying, we were happy, we were sad, we were angry. This thing took us on an amazing roller coaster of emotions and really got us thinking. And Keith and I, as comic book guys, we're deep diving in the books that we haven't touched in decades to try and work out some connection between all this. It is probably one of the most well done and perfect shows of the modern era. I quite easily can give this a solid A+, must own. Go get it on DVD or Blu-ray when it comes out. Add it to your collection. Watch it a million times on Disney Plus while it's on there. Do whatever you can to give this thing a go if you haven't. I had a friend of mine who actually binged all the episodes up to the finale last night in 48 hours because he had only just jumped on the Disney Plus train, and it's like, I've been hearing all this stuff about WandaVision, so he went full force into it. So that last night, when he sat down and watched the episode, he was up to date. I don't think I have seen that many people turn around and want to jump into something, especially these days where it's a weekly series, and still have that attention span for 9 weeks straight in an era where we can binge watch everything in a day or two. 9 weeks, and the world was hyped. Was WandaVision, perfect show. Go get it, watch it, rewatch it. Come jump down that rabbit hole as many times as we do.
That was beautiful, Karl. A true artiste moment. Right, Keith, bring it on home, buddy.
All right, so I'm not as happy-go-lucky with this as Karl is. I do agree with a lot of points, but there's just some things that rub me the wrong way. There's still a lot of things that weren't answered. A lot of things they gloss over it. Again, as we talked about Haywood not being the baddie that we all envisioned him to be, he kind of got swept under the rug. Like, all right, he's the bad guy, but you know what? We don't care anymore. He got ended real quick. They did not do enough with Darcy. I'm sorry. I needed her to do more things. I get it. I understand why. She had her great moments. I wanted more of them. Again, I'm also disappointed what they did with Monica. They teased us throughout the entire season and then let her sit on the sidelines. Like, yep. I mean, raise your hands if you thought that she was actually going to be a contributing factor in the last couple fights or the last major fight. Instead of just standing there on the sidelines going, yeah, I'm here. Other than that, I agree with Karl. I think it is a great show. Damn, they're perfect. Easily one of the best shows for anybody who has been a comic book fan and wanted to see their childhood fantasies come to life. Like MCU and everything that spawned out of the MCU has made my inner child go, holy shit, this is everything I always wanted to see as a child. My heroes, the villains coming to life on the big screen and now also on the small screen, which aren't really small screens. We're talking about 75-inch, 100-inch TV screens and whatnot. But great stuff. I would give it a B+.
Oh.
Still amazing.
You sound more enthusiastic than me, and yet you downgraded it. You're one of those teachers who's like, oh, you did such a great job. And you're like, here's your D.
Well, no, I also pointed out those things that I didn't like. So I will point those out. Yeah. You gotta be critical. Here's why I didn't like certain things. It's still good. I mean, I want a Dodge Viper. It sucks of gas, but I still want one. It's an amazing car. And the insurance, holy crap.
Yeah. I'm just more worried about the transition into Winter Soldier because I'm just like, I ain't hyped for it. Like, I'm gonna watch it. I just think I'm not hyped for it. But maybe it'll prove me wrong because I remember a lot of people being like, WandaVision looks weird, though. I was like, this is my kind of weird, so I'm fine. But I remember people being like, it's kind of funny. And I don't really want to watch it. I don't get the point.
It's different strokes for different folks. I mean, WandaVision is something that appealed to you, but I'm an old school Captain America fan. I like the comics of Captain America, the plot lines, the politics of Captain America, and you're going to see a lot of that in the Falcon and Winter Soldier. So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, every Marvel movie has something that attracts a certain person. I mean, like you said, you're not a big fan of Ant-Man. I enjoy Ant-Man because it was a comic, it was comedy, it was decent action, and it was a family movie. You know, I love Captain America and the Winter Soldier. That, to me, is one of the best, if not the best movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah. Then again, I'm a big Captain America fan.
He doesn't love Cap. That's America's ass right there.
Karl doesn't like Captain America.
What? I mean, well, that makes sense. He's Australian.
Well, yeah, I'm a fan of Captain America. I do find these stories a little bit weak and overly political, but
that's
just me.
I was gonna say something about Captain Kangaroo or whatever his name is. Captain Boomerang, that's who it is. But then I was like, but then Karl will
wrong. Yeah.
That is not Marvel.
Yeah, of course.
I know it's not Marvel, but like, listen.
Of course, one of the most referential, Australian comic book characters is Captain Boomerang, who's a fucking criminal who throws boomerangs. Yeah, way to stereotype my goddamn country, you bigots.
Yeah, I was supposed to be like, I don't know any MCU characters that are Australian. All I got for you is Captain Boomerang. Like, that's literally all I got. I mean, I'm sure there are.
Oh, no, we do have some, but
you got
a lot
Gateway?
Of them are based...
Gateway's amazing. And his nephew.
Gateway's amazing for a stereotyped Aboriginal character. That's
and then don't forget Boomerang. There's another Boomerang tossing guy, but it's not Captain Boomerang. It's just Boomerang.
Just Boomerang. Captain Boom.
Wonder where he came from. There was another guy. Oh, that cybernetic kangaroo guy. I know it's not a good reference, but I thought that character was really weird. I don't know where that came from. Karl, did we have this conversation on another show? We talked about Australian characters. I vaguely remember this.
We've got like Kangaroo, Koala Commander. We do actually have but we're talking like alternate Earths as well. Like Kangaroo is from World War II, but in the mainline series, we do actually have Wolverine is actually from Australia, one of the alternate Earths and stuff like that.
Yeah, was that James Holland?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. We actually, on an alternate Earth, we do have a Captain Australia.
You want to know something really confusing, y'all?
This is...
No, wait. I will do one more tangent. So in Spain, when my parents were growing up, they had this guy named Captain Thunder, Capitan Trueno, and he kind of looks a little bit like Thor. And I was like, is this Thor? Or like, did they steal it? And it didn't. They might have stolen it, but I was like, interesting. So you never know. Every country has their own superheroes, and they're very strange. But back off this tangent. We are going on more tangents than a calculus class. So wrap this.
They're not tangents. They're multiverse.
That's right. We're branching off into multiverse podcasts. You've heard like 6 episodes of 6 different podcasts. I hope you guys have all had a fun time listening to us. We've had a fun time screaming at each other. Does anybody have any final thoughts before we sign off?
This really wasn't enough. We need more.
Yeah.
As much as I'd hate to wait on it, I want WandaVision season 2.
I can't wait until 2022 for freaking Doctor Strange and the multiverse of madness to come out. I mean, we literally have another year. To see the continuation of this.
Don't you mean the multiverse of Mephisto, because everything's Mephisto.
I mean, unless we get some kind of glimpse of this in Spider-Man, which I do not think we're going to get. I think they're going to save this all for Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't know. It's so much fun to say Mephisto. Anyway, I'm an adult. We can do this. So, thank you guys so much for joining us. This has been Enter the Spoilercast WandaVision. We may or may not be back for Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I will be. She may not be, but I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here. Oh, totally, okay. Yes.
Karl, are you coming back?
I don't know. Is it in the multiverse cards? Who knows? You may have to wait till the post-credit sequence to find out.
Well, all right. So then we all may be back for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But until then, everybody, please make sure that you head to theouterhaven.net to check out all of the cool geeky news that we got on there. We got video games, anime, we got TV, books, anything your little heart can desire. There is also the final episode review by Tyler for WandaVision, and I will be writing a full season review. So if you want to hear me scream more about how I wish it were more like David Lynch, you are welcome to join us there. Just remember, that is theouterhaven.net. Check out our news coverage. Check out our other podcasts. They're all amazing and wonderful, and Keith and Karl and I are on several of them. So if you love hearing our dulcet tones, what are you doing, Keith?
I'm breathing in suspense.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently Keith's dulcet tone is breathing directly into the mic like a creeper. So if you want to hear more from us, please be sure to check those out as well. And as always, guys, please stand by.